closer.
Good evening, Mr. Clanton. Got myself a job. Marshal.
Marshalling? In Tombstone? Well, good luck to you, Mr.
Earp. Wyatt Earp.
Legendary actor Henry Fonda is the only hope for law and justice in the West. As lawman Wyatt Earp in the 1946 John Ford classic, My Darling Clementine. Yeah, like in the song. It also stars Victor Mature as the man who made being a tuberculosis-ridden drunk seem cool, Doc Holliday. And sadly, no, this Doc Holliday never says,
I'm your huckleberry.
That's right, not only do I love spaghetti westerns, but I also appreciate and love the American westerns that helped inspire them. Like this classic here that features many notable character actors from that time, a lot of whom which were in director John Ford's stable of actors. For example, Walter Brennan as the evil Pa Clanton, and Ward Bond, who I remember in It's a Wonderful Life as Bert the Cop, plays Morgan Earp, and Tim Holt, the guy who played Coyton in The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, plays Virgil Earp, in a movie that tells the tale of the events that led up to the gunfight at the OK Corral. Or does it? So to be clear, right up front, this movie is by no means historically accurate with its facts. It's mostly all Hollywoodized, since the real facts are, well, less exciting and interesting, I guess. At least to Hollywood and John Ford. So don't watch this movie like it's a documentary or anything. I mean, it's right up there with Braveheart when it comes to getting its facts right. But like Braveheart, which I love, still manages to be a good movie. So I'm not dumping on it for being historically inaccurate. I'm just pointing it out. I actually did enjoy this movie. And this is it. John Ford's 1946 American Western classic that threw away all the facts just for our entertainment. My Darling Clementine. So right off the bat, we see Pa Clanton trying to buy the Earp's cattle off Wyatt, but Wyatt's not interested.
Not interested.
He keeps trying though, and you can already tell that this Pa Clanton is a real miserable dick looking for trouble. Actor Walter Brennan did this well. You know right off, moments after meeting this character, that you're not supposed to like him. And he is nice enough to point Wyatt and his brothers in the right direction of the town of Tombstone.
Just over the rise, be a big town called Tombstone.
So they can ride in and get a shave and a beer.
Ride in there tonight. Get ourselves a shave, maybe. Glass of beer.
So later that night we see the youngest Earp, James Earp, with a fancy piece of jewelry that he bought, as the others gawk over it.
That sure is a mighty pretty piece of brass. 25 American dollars worth of solid silver.
Wow, James, $25? In 1882, that was like $800 or something. That's when Wyatt, Virgil, and Morgan head into town and leave little James behind to watch the herd. I got a bad feeling about this. They're really milking this farewell shot of James here. Oh yeah. Yeah, we ain't gonna see him again. He's not alive anymore. So then here we are in Tombstone. And what a wild and out of control town it is too.
There it is. Tombstone.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
While at the local barber, shooting breaks out, and a straight bullet nearly kills Wyatt and his brothers when he's getting a shave, which begs the question,
What kind of a town is this?
all the shooting turns out to be coming from a drunk-off-his-ass Indian on some sort of rampage that everyone, including the local sheriff, is too afraid to deal with.
That's Indian Charlie and they're drunk. And I ain't committing suicide on myself.
So Wyatt Earp here steps in to defuse the situation.
Well, shit, Sheriff. I'd hate to see that happen, so I guess I'll take over your investigation.
And does, rather quickly too.
We're shutting it down. Wyatt Earp's here to mop up.
What kind of a town is this, anyway? A man can't get a shave without getting his head blowed off.
A literal knockdown and drag out. Way to go, Wyatt Earp. That's how you deal with a drunk Indian who's gone gun happy.
What kind of a town is this, anyway? Selling liquor to Indians.
Don't sell Indians liquor, I guess. They don't know how to drink responsibly, like every other yokel in Tombstone.
Stay thirsty, my friends.
So then Wyatt just kicks that Indian's ass out of town.
Indian, get out of town and stay out.
They were never nice to the Indians, were they? After this little show, Wyatt's offered the job of marshal, which he turns down since he did just come to town for a shave and a beer and ended up saving the friggin' day.
How'd you like to stay on here, as marshal, I mean?
Nope.
And to establish, at this point, everyone's familiar with the name of Wyatt Earp, since he was the former marshal of Dodge City. So he's already famous.
You're not by any chance the marshal from Dodge City.
Kind of a big deal.
Ex-marshal.
Like Ron Burgundy. So then the Earps return to their camp to find the place trashed, their cattle gone, and younger brother James dead. Yeah, murdered by a bullet to the back. This act immediately convinces Wyatt to reconsider that job offer as town marshal.
Mayor, is that marshalling job still open?
And like most, suspects that the Clantons probably did this,
It sure is.
I'll take it.
and lets them know exactly who they messed with.
Got myself a job. Marshal.
Good luck to you, Mr.
Earp. Wyatt Earp.
Yeah, so it's Marshal Wyatt Earp of Tombstone. Oh, hey, John Ford. Yeah, I hate to bother you, but, according to the Stockwell 5000, Wyatt Earp was never made Marshal of Tombstone. His brother Virgil was. But it's your movie. I know, you probably already know this. I'm just pointing it out. He then buries his brother James, says his goodbyes, but don't feel too sad. None of that ever happened either. Yeah, that ain't right. Hey Wyatt, my condolences and all, but again, according to the Stockwell 5000, James Earp was never actually killed. He actually died of natural causes in 1926. Yeah, so he ain't dead. So let's dig his ass up. I'm sure he's screaming to get out. Then at the local saloon, this bar chick named Chihuahua, no joke, the Mexican lady of the night who is in love with Doc Holliday, by the way, is named Chihuahua. And no, she never really existed either. Like most of this, still all Hollywood baloney of the 1940s. But I do love it so as a fan of films. That's when enter Victor Mature as Doc Holliday. Wyatt thinks he's a nice looking fella.
Nice looking fella.
I think he has a Dean Martin look myself. But in the end, he's not a bad Doc Holliday, but will never pull it off as well as Val Kilmer
I'm your huckleberry.
in Tombstone. He owns that role.
Look like somebody just walked over your grave.
Most can agree there, I hope. Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp then meet for the first time. However, this too is a bunch of made up shit. Don't know why you two are acting like strangers. According to the Stockwell 5000, you two do spend years before your time in Tombstone. Anyway, they've just heard of each other here, so they drink over champagne to clear the air.
Mac, a glass of champagne for the marshal.
Maybe work together instead of just shooting it out.
Go.
Until the remaining Earp brothers step in. Morgan and Virgil.
Hiya, Doc. Howdy.
Then we get to meet this booze-happy Shakespearean actor who's in town, as he busts right into the local saloon and goes nuts.
Come, my good man, let me have service or I'll take my patronage elsewhere.
So now best friends, Doc and Wyatt decide to go see this show together, and end up having to retrieve the drunk actor from the saloon when he doesn't show up for his act.
Marshal, be reasonable. All we want to do is to ride him around town a couple times on the rail.
Sounds reasonable up to me.
There we find he is putting on the act only on a saloon table instead, and they're not having it.
Can't you give us nothing but them poems?
Drunks don't want to hear your artsy-fartsy Shakespeare crap, and to be honest, I don't blame them. That's what the Playhouse is for, buddy. They want music and dancing boobies.
Whether 'tis nobler in the mind.
But Doc's really into this shit, and not only stands up for the guy, but finishes his damn act for him.
Leave him alone. Please go on, Mr. Thorndyke.
Would you carry on?
The undiscovered country.
To be or not to be. Target that explosion and fire.
Before the tuberculosis kicks in. Ugh.
Cowards of us all.
That's a shame. Then enter the Clantons, who start stirring up that shit pot, leading to this head bonk and minor shooting. Then my favorite scene in the movie, the ringer, if you will, when Pa Clanton pulls out this horse whip that he always carries around with him, and starts whipping his kids for not killing Wyatt Earp.
Stop, Paul! Stop! Stop! When you pull a gun, kill a man.
Yes, Paul.
There goes his nomination for Father of the Year.
Stop, Paul! Stop!
Then enter this young pretty thing, who's come to Tombstone looking for Doc Holliday, of course. A real ladies' man he is. And this is Clementine Carter. Ah, see? The title character. And, once again, this character is total bullshit. Somewhat, anyway.
I'm looking for Dr. John Holliday.
Oh, that's so, Miss Clementine Carter? Because according to the Stockwell 5000, you don't even exist. However, you do have a real-life counterpart, someone similar to you, but a little different. Want to hear it? I'll go real quick. In reality, Doc Holliday was in love and was going to marry his first cousin, a woman named Martha Marianne Fitzgerald. However, even though it was common in them days for cousins to marry, her devout Catholic parents still did not approve of this, so the marriage never happened. And Doc Holliday ended up leaving, she ended up staying, still in love with him, ended up becoming a nun, never remarried, died sometime in 1939, and according to Stockwell 5000, they corresponded all those years through letters that were later burned by her sister. Wonder what they said. That's some fascinating shit, isn't it? So, wow, that's actually way more interesting than you are, Clementine Carter. Sorry. She was a school teacher though, like her fictional character counterpart, but she never did travel to Tombstone to get Doc back. But maybe she should have, if she was that in love with him. So everyone sees this artsy-fartsy actor out of town as he seemingly can't stop acting.
Good night, sweet prince. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
As Clementine Carter, who has tracked Doc Holliday to Tombstone because she is in love with him. And he just up and left once he found out he was dying from tuberculosis. And now she wants him to return home with her. Doc don't care though. He just wants her to leave or he will. Since he's all bitter that his life and dreams are all for naught since, he's dying. And nothing will cheer him up. Not even Chihuahua's advances. She's totally into him too. Obsessed. Even though he's not Val Kilmer.
I'm your huckleberry.
She does get sick of his poopiness though and storms out all sassy. That's when Wyatt steps in to throw his 2 cents around. But drunk Holliday seems to be just itching for a fight, so Wyatt just knocks him out. Then we get to see Wyatt Earp have a good sit. And boy does he sit the hell out of that chair. The great Henry Fonda acting skills of making sitting in a chair look cool. He does it for a bit too. Has a real fun time with it. Well, hot shit. Boy, Marshal Henry Fonda, you sure know how to enjoy that chair. Damn. Here, let me try. Oh, shit. I'll never be as cool as you. Yep. So, what kind of, corral you got here in Tombstone? Is it a, good corral, a bad corral? Or is it just sort of a OK Corral? Kill me! Not good one? I know, it's stupid. Until his bros show up, and we get to see what a pig Morgan is. And what a determined sassy nut Chihuahua is. You go, Chihuahua. Chihuahua. I still can't get over that. Chihuahua. That would be considered racist now, bro. That's when Clementine, who's about to head out of town, is invited by Wyatt to the new church that they're dedicating. So they can go see the Sunday sermon, a sermon that turns into a hoedown.
So we'll commence by having a dead blasted good dance.
When I saw this scene for the first time, I got what I've heard people call a nerd boner. When I realized that this scene was later referenced in Back to the Future 3. As someone who grew up in the 80s, Back to the Future was like my all-time favorite movie. I remember seeing part 3 in the theater. It was the movie that sparked my interest in watching more westerns, particularly spaghetti westerns. But little did I know they were also referencing this American western as well. From the dedicating of a new building, the platform dance, and Wyatt being all nervous like Doc Brown was to ask a lady for a dance.
Would you like,
See him over there dancing with that fine piece of calico. And this good time convinces Clementine to stay, which of course pisses off Doc Holliday. Just decides to bail town, leaving his obsessed chihuahua behind, as he tosses her a couple of bucks in a bag as he speeds by on a stagecoach out of town. What a guy. No wonder the ladies love him. It's at this point that Wyatt discovers that Chihuahua has somehow acquired his dead brother James's little piece of jewelry there. Remember? The one from the beginning of the movie? See?
Where'd you get that?
That's why they had that scene. Pay attention, it's 1946. Digital special effects are a long ways away. Now Chihuahua is claiming that Doc Holliday gave it to her, but we all know that's a bunch of shit. He's clearly a messed up guy, Doc. But I don't see him being involved with cattle stealing and shooting people in the back. So this sends Wyatt after Doc on this long chase across the desert. That finally ends with this quick-ass showdown between Wyatt and Doc, where Wyatt simply shoots Doc's gun out of his hand and brings his ass back to town. And there we find that Chihuahua also has a little thing going on with Billy Clinton. Yeah, one of the Clinton brothers, played by John Ireland. A step up from his later Roger Corman western, Gunfight.
Don't flatter yourself.
I'll see you in your room tonight.
It's a hallway, and don't you forget it.
Anyway, he sneaks out the back window right as Doc and Wyatt bust in, demanding answers.
Why did you tell the marshal I gave you this jewelry?
Doc knows he didn't give her James Earp's little medallion there, and wants to know exactly who gave it to her. And clearly it was Billy Clinton, we all know this now. And after some pushing, she fingers Billy Clinton, who from the window shoots Chihuahua for diming him out.
It was Billy Clinton.
So Billy Clinton then takes off on a horse, and Wyatt sends Virgil after him.
Billy Clinton, go get him, Virg.
A shot and bleeding Billy then ends up dying on the porch as he makes it home. Virgil then shows up moments later only to be shot in the back in cold ass blood by Pa Clinton for the death of Billy. Boy, this thing's getting really out of hand and fast. Walter Brennan's a pretty evil psychopath here. But, once again, this didn't happen. Yeah, I hate to interrupt you guys here, but according to the Stockwell 5000, Virgil Earp doesn't get killed until after the showdown at the OK Corral. And he's only wounded and dies from pneumonia in 1905. So, this is all wrong, folks. And Pa, what the shit is with you? Put that gun down, you nutbag. Just shooting people in the back? Nut. So get up, Virgil. You don't die until 1905 of pneumonia. Quit lying around. Then we get to see Chihuahua go under surgery by none other than Doc Holliday. Even though in reality, Doc Holliday was a dentist, not a surgeon. Different kind of doctor. But like I said, this movie doesn't care about those facts. So a dentist is doing surgery on a character who never even existed in the first place. Suspension of disbelief, I guess. And if you recognize this woman here, she was also in the John Ford stable of actors, and appeared in many Henry Fonda films actually, including The Grapes of Wrath as Ma Jode. And her final film role was as the Bird Lady in the original Mary Poppins. And Wyatt asked the bartender about love for some reason.
You ever been in love?
But he's not that kind of a bartender.
No, I've been a bartender all my life.
No insightful advice here. Yeah, he's more of a Mo the bartender kind of bartender.
I was born a snake handler and I'll die a snake handler.
So then cut to shooting in the streets. As Pa Clinton and company speed through town to drop off the corpse of Virgil Earp, which of course, like we know, never happened. Evil ass Walter Brennan then leaves them with the invite to the showdown at the OK Corral.
We'll be waiting for you, Marshal, at the OK Corral.
The moment we've all been waiting for. So they want to fight. Clearly. Here's your dead brother. They shot him in the back. That's when we find out that Chihuahua is dead now.
How's Chihuahua? She's dead.
Well, that's what you get when you let a dentist do surgery on a bullet wound. So that was all for naught. Thank God she wasn't real. Then it's sunup. Time for a shootout.
Shut up, Mike.
Once again, dipshits, the actual fight happened at noontime, not in the morning, not at sunup, none of that crap. But at this point, who cares? Fight on! The streets are dead quiet too as they make their way towards the corral, with the Clantons all ready to kill. So Wyatt Earp offers to settle this like civilized men. Talk it out.
Let's talk a while. I got a warrant here for you and your sons.
Do things right like sane people do, which Pa Clanton is clearly not. That's when a stagecoach speeds right through the middle of all this, so the shooting can begin. Bam, bam, bam. With Doc Holliday is hit, killed almost instantly, along with Ike Clanton too. Shot and dead. Once again, total bullshit. Alright, John Ford, you're really reaching on this one. I want to believe that you do know that Doc Holliday wasn't actually killed at the OK Corral and that he died 6 years later of tuberculosis. I want to believe that you actually know that, and this is just all for Hollywood spectacle. And the same thing with Ike going to the Stockwell 5000 when the real gunfight broke out. He wasn't armed at the time, so he ran off. He wasn't even there. I mean, you are aware of this, right? It's a quick shootout too, where every Clanton except Pa Clanton is killed. Pa Clanton surrenders to Wyatt Earp.
Throw your gun down and come on, old man.
Don't shoot me, Mike. Mike.
And told to get the hell out of town.
Now get out of town. Start wandering.
Only to be killed moments later by Morgan Earp when he tries to take a shot at him. And once again, none of that ever really happened. Wait. Like I said, I know at this point it doesn't matter. But according to the Stockwell 5000, the real Pa Clanton died a year before the events that led up to the showdown at the OK Corral even happened. So he had nothing to do with this. So that psychopath was never supposed to be alive to begin with. I mean, was the real Pa Clanton even a psychopath? Did he even own a horsewhip? I'm gonna find out. He was probably a friggin' saint, went to church every Sunday. Oh my shit. So yeah, more bullshit. He forgot his chair. Wow. Henry Fonda's sitting chair. I'm taking this shit. So the Earps win! Yay! Wyatt and Morgan then decide to head back home to fill in the rest of the family about how, well, everyone but them is now dead, murdered by the Clantons, shot in the back, both of them. Bye, Henry Fonda. I mean, Wyatt Earp. Thanks for doing that cool chair thing. I'll never forget that. So Wyatt leaves Clementine there in Tombstone, with claims to return to the schoolhouse where she works someday. Maybe.
Well, goodbye, ma'am.
Goodbye.
And we are left with this cool-ass wide shot of Monument Valley, where this whole movie was filmed. Even though, once again, that's right, folks, Tombstone was not actually located in Monument Valley. That, too, was a bunch of shit. It was actually far more south than that. But John Ford did like the scenery out here in Monument Valley. He actually filmed all of his westerns here. Don't worry, Clementine. Farmer Spaghetti's still here. I ain't going nowhere. He ain't half bad for an old West chick. See, you and I go back to town. And then go to town. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, know what I mean? Oh, wait. According to the Stockwell 5000, I didn't exist back here either. Then again, neither did you. So it's alright. So what do you say? And it is a beautiful looking place, I must say, even in black and white. That's it. Fine. I mean, the end. Movie's over. Get lost. That was the made-up Hollywood John Ford version of the events that led up to the showdown at the OK Corral. Which leads me right into my final thoughts on this film, on Darling Clementine. It was an enjoyable film, and I can see why it succeeded so well in its own time. It was beautifully shot, and you can see a lot of work and money was put into it. Plus, it starred Henry Fonda. What I really did like was that location shooting, though, however inaccurate. John Ford actually spent $250,000 in 1946 money to build the Tombstone town set that he left there for the local Navajos to help bring business into their poor community. Ironic, trying to help the Indians now.
Indian, get out of town and stay out.
A little late, but still. Now, if you watch this movie with the mindset that this isn't supposed to be some sort of accurate depiction of these events by any means, like Braveheart I said, but just this big Hollywood spectacle meant to entertain, then you can really like this film. But if you're a school teacher who can't stand the fact that they rewrite history just so they can make a buck, then, well, this probably isn't the movie for you. They got a lot wrong and knew it too. From the ages of the characters to how and when they died, and how all the events played out. There's also no mention of Johnny Ringo.
Alright, longer. Let's do it.
Even though he was a main and popular character of the Clanton gang. Now in reality, the feud between the Earps and the Clantons supposedly started when the Clantons wouldn't follow the town rule of turning in your guns when in Tombstone.
Who's gonna make this tenderfoot? You! I am.
And a historian once asked John Ford why he was so inaccurate with the facts. And Ford asked him back, did you like the movie? And the historian responded, oh yeah, it was one of my favorites. And John Ford responded back, well, what more do you want then? To give you an idea of the kind of guy John Ford was.
Or maybe this line from another John Ford classic puts it best.
This is the West, sir. When the legend becomes fact, print the legend. He's right, Rams.
This movie paints the Earps as heroes, when in reality, they were not as perfect as led to believe. They were no angels. Far from it, I'm sure. I do like Henry Fonda. He's always a great actor. That's why I originally wanted to see this. The role was originally going to go to Jimmy Stewart because that's what the studio and producers wanted. However, John Ford didn't like the idea of Jimmy Stewart, didn't think he could do the role, and demanded Henry Fonda. That's why you get Henry Fonda. And I gotta say, I agree, I like Jimmy Stewart, but I don't see him playing this as well. And John Ford actually originally wanted Vincent Price to play Doc Holliday. I think that would have been awesome. I gotta be honest, I think that would have been cool. I would have loved to have seen Vincent Price as Doc Holliday. Not to dump on Victor McClure, he was fine. But again, he was no Falcon.
I'm your Huckleberry.
And one last thing on John Ford. In this younger photo of him, doesn't he sort of look like Dr. Strangelove?
I did enjoy Walter Brennan's performance as Pa Clanton with the whip and all. I actually found it funny, okay? How he kept his boys in line with this whip that they would just cower to. Like, no, Pa, don't hit us! No, it's funny.
Stop, Paul! Stop, Paul! Stop! Stop!
And one more interesting fact before I go. The fictional character of Colonel Potter on MASH and the real-life character of Harry S. Truman, their favorite movie is My Darling Clementine. Well, that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed this look at this seemingly forgotten classic, My Darling Clementine. So adios, and I'll see you at the movies.
Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine. Now I'm lost and
Step right up, folks, step right up. Be the first person in your town to say that you sat where Henry Fonda's ass sat. That's right, folks, I present to you the Henry Fonda chair. The exact chair Henry Fonda had so much fun with in My Darling Clementine. Don't ask me how I got it, it's a long story. So don't go through life regretting that chance you had to sit your loser ass in the same chair that Henry Fonda's awesome ass sat in. And all it will cost you is $10 for 30 seconds of joy. Oh my god, it feels so nice. My ass isn't as narrow as Henry Fonda's. I'll never be as cool as him, but my 30 seconds are already up. I'll get another $10. This is so worth it. But don't worry, folks, the traveling Henry Fonda chair could be coming through your town any day now, so don't miss it. So go get all of your money and get your ass to the Fox Run Mall, where the chair will be on display this weekend. And for another $20, get your picture taken in it. Yay! The traveling Henry Fonda chair. Your last chance to see it this weekend at the Fox Run Mall. Be there, or die chairless on your front porch.